Today, we are going to study a course which is called Chinese Medicinal Herbs. The reason why Chinese medicinal herbs can prevent and treat disease is due to their various internal nature. That is the properties and actions of Chinese medicinal herbs. And they are summarized in medical practice and on the basis of the theories of yin-yang, zangfu, meridians, and the therapeutical principles of traditional Chinese medicine. To learn Chinese medicinal herbs, you have to know the properties and actions of Chinese medicinal herbs. Processing of Chinese medicinal herbs. Compatibility of Chinese medicinal herbs. Contraindication of Chinese medicinal herbs, and dosage and administration of Chinese medicinal herbs. That is also the general introduction of Chinese medicinal herbs. The theories of their properties are mainly summarized as 4 natures and 5 flavors: lifting, lowering, floating, and sinking acting directions, meridian tropism of Chinese medicinal herbs, and toxicity of Chinese medicinal herbs. Now, let's start one by one. First, we are going to learn 4 natures and 5 flavors. 4 natures are cold, hot, warm, and cool, which also called the 4 properties. 5 flavors are pungent, sweet, sour, bitter, and salty, which can be tasted by our tongue. The 4 natures of herbs are formed according to the herb's producing area, environment, and their growing time. For example, herbs 肉桂 and 桂枝 are planted in Guangxi, Guangdong province. The weather in that area is hot, so 桂枝 and 肉桂 have the properties of hot. Another example, wheat has the properties of cold because it was growing at the season of winter. And the 4 natures are summarized mainly from the body's response after Chinese medicinal herbs are taken. Chinese medicinal herbs with cold and cool nature can clear away heat, purge fire, and eliminate toxic materials, which are mainly used for heat syndrome. For example, 黄连 and 石膏 can eliminate the manifestation of heat syndromes, such as high fever, thirst, and profuse perspiration. Chinese medicinal herbs with warm, hot nature have the actions of expelling cold and restoring yang, which are mainly used for cold syndrome. For example, 附子 and 干姜 are taken, the manifestations of cold syndrome, such as aversion to cold and cold limbs, cold and painful sensation in gastric region can be relieved, which indicates that 附子 and 干姜 are hot in nature. In addition, there are also some Chinese medicinal herbs known as neutral ones, whose cold or hot nature is not so remarkable and whose action is relatively mild, such as Fulin and Yuzhu. The 5 flavors of Chinese herbs refer to the 5 different tastes. They are pungent, sweet, sour, bitter, and salty, which can be tasted by the tongue, while Some herbs flavors are summarized by their clinical actions. Therefore, there's a little difference between the flavors of medicinal herbs and the taste got by our tongue. Due to their different flavors, they have different actions. Pungent. Pungent flavor. Pungent is a flavor of medicinal herbs that has an action of dispersing and promoting circulation of qi and blood. Pungent medicinal herbs are generally indicated for exterior syndromes due to invasion of exogenous factors and applied for qi stagnation and blood stasis. For example, 紫苏叶 and 薄荷 can produce effects of inducing sweating to expel the exogenous pathogenic factors from the exterior. 木香 can circulate qi, and 红花 can promote blood circulation, which can be applied for qi stagnation and blood stasis. Sweet. Sweet flavor has the nourishing, harmonizing, and moistening action. Herbs have sweet flavors are indicated for deficiency syndromes, in coordinating between the spleen and stomach, and pain syndromes. For instance, 黄芪 and 熟地黄 have nourishing action. 甘草 can relieve spasm and pain, and 蜂蜜 can moisten the intestine and promote purgation. Sour flavor has absorbing, consolidating, and astringent actions. Those sour flavor herbs are often used to treat chronic cough, chronic diarrhea, emission, prolonged menstruation, and prolonged leukorrhea, and so on. For example, 乌梅 and 五味子 are used to relieve cough and diarrhea. 山茱萸 and 金樱子 are used to eliminate emission and enuresis. Bitter flavor has the actions of drying or resolving dampness, purging and lowering. Those bitter in flavor herbs are used to clear and purge heat, dry dampness, to cure cough due to adverse rising of long qi, damp heat, or cold damp syndrome. For example, 黄连 can clear away heat and dry dampness, and 苍术 can dry dampness due to its bitter flavor and warm nature. 代黄 can cause download discharge. 杏仁 can lower and disperse long qi, and 栀子 can clear away heat and purge fire. Salty flavor has the effects of softening hard notes or messes or promoting defecation. So, salty medicinal herbs are often used for the syndromes such as scrofula, superficial nodules, abdominal mass, and internal accumulation with dry stool. For example, 海藻 and 昆布 can disperse scrofula, and 芒硝 can relieve constipation by purgation. In addition to the 5 flavors that are the basic taste of the Chinese medicinal herbs, there are also astringent flavor and bland flavor. TCM holds that astringent flavor falls under the sour flavor category and bland flavor falls under the sweet category. So, they are still included in the 5 flavors. The actions of astringent flavor are very similar to those of sour flavor, which all have the astringent action. For example, Longgu and Muli can stop nocturnal emission, leukorrhea, and profuse perspiration. Those bland in flavor, such as drooling and fooling, possess the action of removing dampness and promoting diuresis, and often used for edema and dysuria. The nature and flavor are two kinds of medicinal properties that every Chinese medicinal herb possesses, and each of Chinese medicinal herbs must have both properties. The natures and flavors deal with the pharmacological properties separately in different aspects. Only when you have a good understanding of the actions of both the natures and flavors, can combine them with each other, can you correctly understand their medicinal effects. Those with same natures and flavors possess essential similar actions. For example, Huanglian and Huangqin are bitter in flavor and cold in nature. Both can clear away heat and relieve toxic materials, purge fire, and dry dampness. Different natures and flavors of medicines result in their different actions, such as Huanglian and Ganjiang. Huanglian is bitter in flavor and cold in nature, but Ganjiang is pungent in flavor and warm in nature, which are completely different in their actions. Ganjiang can expel cold, warm the middle energizer, restore yang, stop bleeding, and warm the lung to resolve fluid retention, but Huanglian to clear heat and drain dampness. Okay, that's all for today. A brief introduction on 4 natures and 5 flavors. Look forward to seeing you in next section.